So you have to be very clear. Where he stays, what is the documentation, which country are making it out. So many things comes up while making it. Because if you don't tell him upfront, and he comes with only notary, as normally we have a standard thing, okay, get notary, this one, you send it out, without knowing that whether he is resident in that same country or is residing in some other country. So if the same person residing in other country, you have to make sure that documents are consularized. Otherwise, the chances are there that you get ROC very and they reject it. Normally, Bombay ROC very strict on that. I don't know other ROC. They have a very strict process. And one is to go to the how to fanatic opinion. They also mention very clearly how the foreign documents, whether in the Commonwealth country, whether Hague Convention or those who are not Hague Convention signatories. So one has to be very careful whether countries in Commonwealth or not. All our ministries, government, all Commonwealth, all Hague Convention, you have to go through so many things. If you go to Google, even there also, there are lots of things. Some countries say that this country is not for this clause is not binding effect. And so many things are there. All the reciprocal things, then you can go to the the last, if you want to be safer side, make sure that you ask, get me Indian consulate documentation. Then Indian people will ask. So notary, apostille, everything. Today, practically, they have to charge $500 to $1,000 for one documentation. Apostille. Today we only 4 or 5 documents. Maybe you only 2 documents. 4 documents, power. Now with this kind of all documentation, 100 pages they have to notarize. I don't know whether they will do the company or they will rather say you do the company and I will buy out the shares. That is the easiest way. You form a company, I will buy out the shares. I don't require all this documentation. So practically it's very difficult for us to convince the client. Not only that, the documentation is legal entities, everywhere the problem is taken. Because first time in this Companies Act, even the incorporation they are clearly defined. What will be the consequences of not giving information, wrong information, lack of information. So we have to be very clear. As a professional, we have to be very careful and we have to exchange the ideas to make sure that we save from some other side.
Question answer.
Any questions?
Friends, we can have good questions.
There is one nominee, one OPC. That's why if you look at, I cannot say one OPC, I can have one OPC. And I can be nominee of 10 people because ultimately what happens? Then in OPC, the issue you have to look at legally, that suppose a person who is OPC, he died, then you will be naturally the OPC member, right? So you can't have, because that's why they ask you, are you OPC or nominee? Because question there, right? Today you are OPC. Again I will nominate you another OPC. Tomorrow something that OPC something happens. That means I will be naturally the member of that OPC.
In case of eventuality of the owner of the company, one-person company, if he passes away and the nominee becomes, he steps into his shoes and he is again a nominee of some other 2-3 companies, and unfortunately the other 1 or 2 companies also he steps into the shoes, then he cannot become the owner of one company. That principle cannot hold good. Or what is the answer given in the New Companies Act for that?
No, no, see, that's why the restriction won't say starting. No, no, it doesn't draft. Draft will make it 5 and 5. But here, they not made it. Question, see that. If you look at legality, you one natural person can be incurred one police. The idea is there that the moment you be, say nominee, you are a one OPC you have, and you are nominee in another OPC. And that other OPC, that person, and you become a step into that OPC. That means, are you violating the two person then? I mean, you are now in two place. Fundamentally, you are starting the, there is only contravention that you are holding the two places. So, to interpret in that way, when I can be a one person, a OPC, I can form a OPC in one place, and I can be nominee of multiple places. Doesn't hold good because ultimately, at the end of the day, when something happens, you are stepping into the shoes of that member. So, what do you do?
Is the nominee the owner?
See, today you are allowed.
Technically, what we understand, the nominee is not the owner.
He's not an owner.
So when we talk about not being the owner, then where is the problem? You can be nominee of five places.
See, the question
We have
there.
5 sides, you become OPC, you have 5.
The question is there. When you say, I want to be, say, I say today, I say, I will be OPC, one I have OPC. And I am nominated 5 places. Okay, you are allowed. Tomorrow something happen in all the 3 places, you are replacing 2 members. What will happen?
That is the question, whether he becomes the owner.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you are nominee, see the question is the whole
I think
purpose.
nominee will have only the right to see that the thing goes to the proper person. That's all. He cannot be the owner of that.
See, the question that precisely when you talk about the nominee, what we normally talk about in the Companies Act. No, I mean that's a when you talk about the nominee as per the Companies Act, where we have a very distinct issue, you file beneficial interest and everything. Here, now question me, I say, for example, I am my officer. Now I nominate either I nominate to my very near relatives, say for my son.
Is the definition of nominee there in the company, new companies there? Or is there, it is the
You
same
have
thing?
understood in the general comment.
So if that is the case, then he is a trustee.
I agree, see, fully agree. The question is
Then
there,
where is the issue?
but that's why telling you, if the thing is not been defined, like say for example in the Companies Act, that you can't have the one nominee or you cannot have this one, they are not defined it. You have to look at that way. Because the beneficial, whether I am beneficial or not, I am only a custodian, all these things I agree with. But there is a gap, what you are allowed, because the purpose of OPC is completely different than what you are saying normally. Like in Companies Act, you file over 10 companies name in your name as a nominee, nobody question. And even there is one High Court judgment, where the nomination is superior to the even your what you call this one? Ruling. So you have to be very careful. See, these are the things which are practically you can always argue that I am only a nominee. But why somebody should nominate you? So for example, if I cannot nominate, if I have to be OPC, I will ask my wife or my son, whom legally